We started, I don't know if you remember already, right? But we started in Toronto. And what did we do for the first day? We went to Casa Loma, the only authentic castle in North America. Wow, eh? What a start for the Great Lake Tour.
The 12-day, 11-night Tauck Tour begins with dinner at Casa Loma. This is what Casa Loma looks like. And it's Halloween time in the rain, about 6:15 in Toronto as we enter the castle. And this are the 144 Tauck guests. Day 2 on the Tauck Tour begins at a park with some food goodies. This is the Toronto City Hall, built in 1895. Now we go tour the St. Lawrence Market. Some samples, Canadian bacon from this location. A Toronto tradition for $8.40 Canadian. This is the major seafood location here in the market. Our next stop, the distilleries. You can see this is kind of a lunch place. Here we get samples of 4 different types of bars. I chose a Brownie Naimo bar. The sun is going down Saturday night, and with one last look at the CN Tower, used to be the tallest building on the planet. Tomorrow, it's called Niagara Falls Day.
And after that, what we did day 2, we went to Niagara Falls. We went to fight Mother Nature and we bring it on, right? See what you got.
Sunday, 6 October, day 3 of the tour, sees us at Niagara Falls. And here we go. There is the boat, or one of the types of boats that we will be on very shortly. And feeling the mist, here is the best picture I have seen of the Canadian Horseshoe Falls. We're now on our way down towards the boat. Then an elevator down, and we're welcome. So we hand out ponchos as you get closer to the boat. There's the boat. Carry up to 700 passengers. We'll have 144. This is where the ponchos go. While you're waiting your turn, you can do a zip line. There's our guide Felix waiting to greet us as we board.
Here I am in Niagara Falls, heading out to the falls in the shade. I'm not going anywhere near that mist of water.
All stands at 108 feet or 56 meters high. Its crest line, 1,075 feet, 180
above us
meters
now at the
wide.
Horseshoe
Its water
Falls.
flow is 75.
Anyone out in this is getting wet for sure. It's raining. And we're driving away from the falls back toward the shore again. And we reapproach the dock.
Enough of it.
With this view and 144 of our nearest and dearest friends, we're off to lunch at the Queen Victoria Place restaurant. So we're having a wine sampler for lunch, including an ice bar.
And then after Niagara Falls, we finally board our ship, Le Bello, which was our home for a week. It's the French ship, right? 2 words, right? French ship. After that, we did with the Welland Canal with Howard in his lecture. Does Howard know so much, eh? Oh wow, it was fantastic.
Times that you can get through in 7 to 8 hours. Sometimes it takes 13 hours. So the whole day's been set aside for going through the locks. And the differential in height between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario is 326 feet. Many people have said to me, gee, I've never heard of the Welland Canal. The economic significance of the canal for both Canada and United States is quite spectacular.
Day 4, Lake Ontario at a full stop, waiting for traffic to clear so we can enter the Wellington Canal. No, that's not Niagara Falls, that's the locks allowing water into the lock so we can rise up. Yet another lock. We are in another lock, closing the door behind us. And now we are up. That big white thing there is a power generator.
And then we go to Cleveland, where we rock, eh? We did to the rock and roll of all
6:45 in the morning, almost time for breakfast. Day 5 of the tour, Tuesday, October the 8th, and we are approaching Cleveland, Ohio, our first port on the cruise. The first stop of the day, about 0.2 of a mile from the ship, is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This is the factory of Mitchell's Homemade Ice Cream. 3 shifts, 3 8-hours a shift, 24/7.
After we did to Detroit, and then Detroit Motown, some of you did, right?
Wednesday morning, October the 9th, another beautiful day finds us in the city of Detroit, going out for a city tour. In 5 minutes, I gotta get to the meeting area right now.
Half of the group will be going to the Motown Museum in Hitsville.
The tour begins with a look at Art Deco in the Guardian building. This building was opened in 1929, originally called the Union Trust Building, but it went out of business. And this is what an Art Deco building looks like. Just incredible. Now for a visit to the Motown Museum. The museum is small and no video is allowed, so here follow a bunch of pictures.
I've got this burning, burning yearning, fever inside me. Ooh, so deep inside me. And it hurts so bad. You came into my heart.
Oh, that come in the evening, that duo that we danced, our costume, right? That we had that night. What a day, what an evening.
Now that I surrender, so helplessly. Ooh, now you wanna leave. Now you wanna leave.
Cinema Tribute.
The truth, and I owe it all to you.
Those eyes had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you.
After this, we did a day at sea on the Huron Lake when we didn't see no land for a full day, but we're on a lake and we didn't see nothing.
Chosen the carriage ride, which is a beautiful carriage ride. It's about an hour 15. In fact, forget this word right here, they don't like it. It's Grand Hotel, okay? So remember that. But you can see this hotel.
In the morning, we'll take a carriage ride, stopping at Fort Mackinac, and then walking over to the Grand Hotel for lunch, which will begin at noon. Then walking into town to find the Mackinac Island fudge, which I will buy at one of the 14 stores that sells such items. Being the tender to go to Mackinac Island. Get to the tender, you go down the stairs, and we are off. So get off the tender here at Mackinac Island, get our vouchers for lunch with a drink. A little bit of a line to board our carriage.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please give a warm welcome to your driver, Morgan, today.
Down Front Street.
We do have a grocery store where they have like ibuprofen, Tylenol, and like.
I wonder what Starbucks fudge is like. But there are plenty of these signs for fudge in Mackinac Island.
Darkest secret. Cars. You see that? But only cars. An ambulance and a police car. Everyone look at the flowers. Everyone say ooh. Everyone say ah. Now, on Main Street alone, we passed by 13 different fudge shops. Back to school in January, the 26th this year. Back here around 1855, but the oldest known grave in the cemetery dates back to 1833.
And here is Arch Rock. Why is this place called Mackinac instead of Mackinac?
That it's just never been pronounced Mackinac.
I am walking from Fort Mackinac to the Grand Hotel, and there in the sunshine sits Le Bleu. And there is the Grand Hotel, the longest front porch of any hotel on the planet, about 600 feet. Cost to get into the hotel is $12 unless you're a guest or a Tauck tour guest. Look at the Grand Hotel, starting with the ice cream parlor. So supposedly the best ice cream in the island, the most famous picture in this location. I love these chair backs. Here's the movie that was filmed here somewhere in time. This is the famous Cupola Bar, looking out the window at Le Bleu. And this is a famous glass chandelier. Now it's time to walk the 660 feet of the front porch. There are 100 chairs. The main dining room that will hold 700 people. Lunch is a buffet. And here comes the tender to take us back, and it looks really rough. The passage is going to be interesting. The fudge tasting, you could have eaten a day's worth of sugar allotments at the fudge stores, the 13 fudge stores along Main Street. It's 3 o'clock and our stay at Mackinac Island has ended.
And then we did to Muskegon. Some of you did the Maritime. You saw the Clipper, this ship that Tauck used in 1936 to do the Great Lake tour. And that day, Muskegon, some of us went on the dune. Hey, and we were like this we're having fun on the dune. Yeah, Holland with the windmill. Fantastic.
Saturday, 12 October, it's Muskegon Port Day, which means Swampy Lake in Indian. And there's the town of Muskegon in the distance. We are at the windmill at Holland, Michigan. It looks like a church. And there is the windmill. This is the Diswan windmill, and originally where that white pathway is where the windmill would have sat onto the ground. When this was on the ground, those blades came very low and people were killed by them as they swept by. This is how you turn the windmills, by turning that.
Library across the street there. There are bronze sculptures.
Tauck is known for its interesting lunch spots, and this is where we are today at Bowerman's Blueberry with lots of pumpkins in the front. And here's our ship at dock, Le Bleu.
And then finally, Milwaukee. First time we did visit Milwaukee, eh? That's a great town. And the cheese, yeah, cheese. And then we kept going to Chicago, where we had the architecture cruise. It was fun. It was a bit cold, but it was fun, right? It was the best way to see the city.
Sunday morning, October the 13th. The cruise is almost totally over. We are docked in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's Marathon Day in Chicago, so we're gonna do the very first Tauck tour of Milwaukee. There are all the bags.
Down here you'll see a lot of volleyball nets. You might have heard Milwaukee, you kind of heard about us, kind of known for beer. Did you ever hear that? Yeah. Kern House. This was built in 1898. It was the first home in Milwaukee with air conditioning in each room that you could individually control there. This house sold in 2021 for $1.3 million. And he was the gentleman who invented Palmolive soap.
Now with cloudies and a little bit of rain, we are in downtown Chicago. There are lots of riverboat tours. We're doing the architecture tour on the Chicago River. Boat just like that, 2 levels. And we're going to learn about buildings such as that one. Our group of 144 is boarding at Dock 3.
Is sitting. That is also the Chicago Architecture Center.
Started right about where the Fidelity
Fort Dearborn was built in
is.
1812. The Jewelers Building, also known as 33 East Wacker. The building looks nothing like what it was originally designed to look like. That's because in 2009, with the Great Recession, the building remained half-finished for quite some time until it was repurposed into condominiums. There's the council tall buildings that decides these things.
That's the tallest building in the world.
But nevertheless, it was the tallest building when it was completed in 1974 for 25 years. Best view of our tour so far.
And then today, you had the walk and the park, or you had the art museum, both great experience.
28 acres is a newer park that's more tuned to children, families.
This is the Pritzker Pavilion where they do shows. The art here lasts for 2 years and they take it down and replace it with something. This was designed to be a medieval Italian town square. And here comes the next face on the tower. This is reflective art. Sculpture. Look at this reflections. And I get bigger. You're going to have lunch at Giandardo's. They are making our pizzas. We have 5 people at our table. The question is, how many pizzas will we get? Cheese, pepperoni, mushrooms, onions, and green peppers. The theme of the Tauck final farewell party is Roaring 20s.
I only pose for pictures.
Well, that's okay.
Blackbird, yes sir, one of those. Has anybody seen my gal?
There's room for one more couple on the dance floor.
Time to summarize the Tauck tour. What did I think? Lots of people, not my favorite way to travel, but I was blown away with the tour. Very, very, very well run by the 5 tour guides that we had. It was actually a wonderful trip that ended on Lake Michigan, began on Lake Ontario. Absolutely recommend the Great Lakes tour.
And today, this evening, we had a nice farewell show for you. And this is what we did in the last 11 days, right? And it was a great tour. And I want to say thank you.